Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, John Cena, and today we're going to be doing a clan 2v2 battle. I'm going to be the orange Confederate player, and my ally Bullet 82 MK2 is going to be the purple Confederate player. So let's go and get into it. We're going to be facing off against two Confederate players from the Turkey 2v2 clan, and this is set to be a very exciting matchup. So we got some base development that's occurring on the battlefield here for both of us. So the plan here is I'm going to go for a ground build, and Bullet's going to go for the aviation build. So Bullet's getting a scout here onto blue and green. We can see that blue is already HQ4 and is in production of units. Blue, just for the audience to note, has a 78% win rate and is rank 19. So you can see there in the chat there, I originally thought that this blue player was 80+%, but they were not. They were still very strong. We can see that both of these players on the blue and green side, they know exactly what they're doing. They are experienced players. Bullet is doing some early game harassment with the Vertex, trying to hit that special vehicle factory. Looks like the blue player is going for a combination of Zeus tanks and Typhoons, which is a pretty common Confederate mix. So I'm going to go for HQ4. My plan is to go for a shield with Zeus tanks. And looks like Bullet is dropping down another Avia factory. So I tell Bullet to go and check out the green player again. We don't quite know what green's going for yet. We see a Viking there, and we can see some aviation and a few defensive structures as well. Green's a little bit slower on the development, but has a lot of supply centers. So my plan here is I'm going to go for full Zeus with shield and maybe throw in a few Typhoons for anti-air. We can see that Blue's army is growing pretty quickly. Here comes Green with an attack from the Vertex. That's a ton of damage on the airfield, and it looks like Green is going to be able to swipe that airfield. So Bullet may or may not lose the Vertex there. I'm not sure if they have enough fuel to stay in the air. Bullet's going to have to rebuild that airfield. And meanwhile, on my end, I don't have any Typhoons out just yet, and I am paying the price for it. I've already lost a shield generator, and some of my Zeus tanks are taking some hits from the green player's Vertex. So I'm going to need to get out some Typhoons just for defense. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep my units covered by the shield generator as I'm able to, just to try and minimize damage as much as possible. So we're just continuing to produce units here. Green has come back in once again, swipes a really nice hit onto that airfield, and is going to take out that airfield. So Bullet is going to get another scout onto the blue and green player. As confirmed, we see that special vehicle factory being upgraded, so we might see some torrents or shield generators on the battlefield. So I'm full command points at this point, so I'm just going to flag the map here. I'm going to make a move onto green. Looks like green may be the slightly weaker of the two players, so we'll see if we can punch through on the side there. We can see that there's some early scout units from the green player, so both players from Turkey 2v2 know that I'm going to be attacking from the side there. So we're going to go ahead and commit, and here we go now. First major engagement of the battlefield, and we're going to throw on a gold vehicle attack boost here. We see Zeus tanks, infantry, Vertex, and torrents. Bullets coming in with the air support from the Vertex, trying to counter the green player's Vertex. And here comes blue. We see a shield generator, just as I suspected, and we see a lot of torrents. That is a huge army from the blue player. And now we can see that my army is trapped. It is not in a good position right now. For this particular map, it's really hard to launch a ground assault. You tend to be able to more easily defend if you have controlled that plateau and the side area. And we can see my army is dishing out really good damage, but it's also taking really good damage. And I don't think my army is going to be able to punch through at this time. So I flagged that area, point G. I was just noting it for Bullet to see that Blue's army is huge, but Bullet, I think, interpreted it as that I was originally asking for a bombing run or a hit on that area. Here comes some Thors now. They're going to score a nice hit onto the blue player's army. They're going to miss those torrents though. So in the meantime, I'm going to rebuild my army here. I've got triple assault vehicle factories and double special vehicle factories. Bullet's going to try and swipe a container there, but was not able to. Blue was starting to move a huge army in. And here comes the Thors from Bullet, and they score a really nice hit onto Blue's army. Blue's taking some heavy damage there, but is still mostly intact. Looks like Blue's gonna try and attack the front entrance, so I threw a bunker down there just to buy me some time. Sometimes players like to do an attack move and they'll just hit the first thing they see, so Blue's army hitting that bunker buys me just enough time to get my army into position. And here we go, second major engagement of the battle unfolding. Blue's army is huge. There is a ton of Zeus tanks and Taurians in the mix here. So I've got a couple shield generators on my side and Zeus tanks. Looks like Bullet's bringing in his ground troops as well. We got a nice concave on the blue player. Vertex coming in from the green player to provide air support. Here comes some Thors from Bullet. They're going to score a direct hit onto the blue player's army, and Blue's army is disappearing fast. We're going to be able to move slowly onto the Taurians there. Taking some good damage here, and I need to keep rebuilding my army. I'm going to throw on a gold vehicle attack boost just to boost my Zeus tanks here. Hey, look at this. We got some pressure from the side here. Here comes the green player. Green's going to put some pressure on me now, and I am defenseless on that side. I need some help, so I'm going to go ahead and throw on a gold common defense boost, try to buy myself some time while I move my troops back into position. Green's done a great job with splitting the army. So Blue took the front while Green took the side, and now they're starting to get into some of my infrastructure here. Nothing extremely critical has been lost just yet, but we're starting to lose some of those supply centers. We cannot lose the factories though, those are so important. So my tanks have arrived just in time. We're going to try to thin out the assault units here. So Green's going straight for my headquarters. Here comes Bullet, and he scores a beautiful hit onto the green troops, and Green's assault force just gets demolished. So with the help of the Thors, we were able to defend that attack, no problem. So at this point, I've got Zeus tanks and looks like a couple shield generators on the battlefield. Gonna need to throw in some Typhoons into the mix. At this point, I've gone to HQ5 just so I can get max command points on my army. So I tell Bullet that I'm under attack here from the Vertex. So Bullet's going to come in, scores a nice hit on that Vertex, and he's going to score another hit on the Vertex. So Bullet's getting some really nice interceptions. There's a Typhoon down there just below the cliff, and I think it looks like Bullet's going to swing back in, and Bullet does. He's going to finish off that Typhoon. So I'm moving my assault force once again. I'm going to move it onto the container. I tell Bullet to scout the top of the plateau there. Let's see what the defensive line looks like. I think it was probably open enough because at this point I decided I was going to try and commit to a second ground assault. So taking the initiative now, we're going to move troops onto the plateau. We're going to try to storm the base here. And this is about the time where I realized that this was actually not a good idea. My Zeus tanks were pretty heavily damaged, and I didn't have any Typhoons to counter those Vertex. So the combination of Vertex, Torrents, and Zeus tanks are just wrecking my ground troops here. So this is not looking good on my end. Looks like those Torrents are dishing out really heavy damage with those rockets. So I've got a Typhoon now arriving. Here comes some Vertex from Bullet. Looks like they're just kind of circling the battlefield, searching for those Vertex. And I think Bullet is flying them manually to try and see if those Vertex will come back into play. But it looks like Bullet is going to have to pull back. So at this point, I need to regroup. I don't have enough troops to make a push onto the blue and green bases. And so we can see that we got Thors now from Bullet. And these Thors are going to come in handy. Here comes a flight of Thors. Let's see where they're headed. And we can see they're headed straight for a couple of the factories here. Direct hit on the factories, but we can see that those buildings are super tanky. So let's see if this second fight of Thors, where does it go? Oh, and it scores a huge hit on the troops there for the blue player. Blue took a lot of damage there. Really nice hit from Bullet. Here comes the Vertex to follow up, and Bullet's doing a great job with this follow-up. This is a great combination of using Thors to weaken units and then having the Vertex come back in just to score some extra hits and pick off some of the weaker units. So, solid combination from Bullet. Meanwhile, I'm just continuing to rebuild my ground army. So at this point, I spot that there's an airfield and an avia factory. I flag it. Bullet goes to hit it. We are trying to prevent the blue and green players from getting Thors. We cannot let them get Thors. If they get Thors, it's going to get very difficult to take them out. So, Vertex coming in for a Bullet. They're going to swipe a hit on that avia factory, and the factory goes down. So I actually flag an area now, and I tell Bullet with his next bombing run for the Thors to attack that spot. We're hoping that Blue left their entire army there, but they didn't. Looks like Blue only left a couple of troops there. And it looks like Bullet's going. Looks like we're going. So this is our third major assault onto the base here. Can we do third time's a charm? We see the blue player dropping down tons of walls. And we see now Blue trying to defend the area. Blue's got a decent-sized army here to attack with, but Green is out of position, and right now it is a 2v1 in this area. Green's got some Vertex coming in, but this time I've got Typhoons, and look at the bombing run from Bullet. Bullet takes out a ton of troops from the blue player. At this point, Blue's army is practically gone, so Green's coming in to try and defend. Vertex coming in to swipe some hits there. And we can see that there's a big mistake here that the green player is making. It is that Green is trying to funnel their entire army through that front entrance there that's super narrow with a bunch of walls. That is a big mistake from the green player. Green should have gone over the top plateau. It would have had way better positioning. But now because the green army is in that tiny entry point, we see some Thors coming in, cleaning up some more troops. The Zeus tanks for both Bullet and I were able to do concentrated fire and just crush the units as they showed up. So now this is looking like bad news bears for the Confeds here. For the blue and green side, we're starting to get to the factories here, and this is so critical. It's going to help us delay production for the blue player. We gotta take out as many factories as possible. We're still not sure yet how far this attack's gonna make it, but we do have the momentum on our side here. So more tanks are starting to pour in from the blue and green side, but it's still not enough. Torrents coming in along with heavy assaults. Here comes some more Thors. They score a really nice hit onto this infrastructure there. They don't quite take it out, but it is heavily damaged, and we are gonna be able to clean up that assault vehicle factory with the Zeus tanks. So heavy assaults are now being thrown into the mix by the green player. Looks like Green's starting to run out of options here. Thor's coming in once again. They're going to score another bombing hit on the area, and they're going to clean up some troops there. So now we're trying to see if we can make our breakthrough here. Looks like Blue's not dropping any walls down, so Blue is either saving up resources for unit production or is low on income. Either way, Blue is not in a great position at this point. Vertex coming in once again from the green player. Green trying to support, but again, we've got a lot of Typhoons in the area. It's not going to be super beneficial. So here comes some more walls from the blue player. Blue is truly running out of options here. Thor is coming in from Bullet. Bullet scores a really nice hit. Factory doesn't quite go down though, but I've got a couple of Zeus tanks there that may be able to finish it off. A lot of vehicles in the area though, but I'm gonna get the special vehicle factory. So I flag a few of Bullet's troops and I tell them to move to the front lines. They were just kind of waiting on the side there. And my Zeus tanks are slowly making it into the base here for Blue. Blue is in big trouble. Green's trying to defend both themselves and their ally, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. These tanks are continuing to slug it out on the battlefield. Vertex coming back in for a Bullet, providing once again some more air support, cleaning up some of those infantry and tanks really nicely. Meanwhile, I'm just relentlessly trying to pour vehicles in, but Zeus tanks are not cheap, and I do not have the income to sustain constant Zeus production. Here comes some Thors. They score another really nice hit here, and we can see that the tier 5 HQ from the blue player is gone. Blue is in huge trouble. Blue has no way to make units. And these Thors from Bullet are just absolutely relentless, putting so much pressure on the green player. We see green is also HQ5, trying to pump out as many units as possible, but I don't think it's going to work out. We see triple barracks and a couple factories there. I don't see anything coming out of the special vehicle factories though. Vertex are doing a good job cleaning up some remnant Zeus tanks, and my Zeus tanks are slowly making their way over towards the green player's production. Bullet's Zeus tanks are also making their way over as well, and it looks like we're going to be able to clean up more pieces of the base. Green is slowly falling apart. They cannot sustain themselves under the pressure. Our tanks are absolutely relentless, and I think this is just about good game here. Once we destroy those barracks, green is going to self-destruct. Alright, hope you all enjoyed this really exciting battle. Pretty solid matchup overall. Good luck in your battles. We will see you in the next battle.
Victory.